delegations to do so. Would like to acknowledge I've been given some apologies, but let me acknowledge the presence of the two MECs from the Northwest, MEC for Coghsta, MEC Malloy, and MEC for Treasury, MEC Hosho, and the HOD. I'm sure as we proceed, other officials would be acknowledged as well by the various leaders of the delegation. Councillor Huma from SALGA, who is also leading a team. I think that would be acknowledged. And Councillor Nonzaba from the district Bojanala, as well as the executive mayor, Councillor Jacobs from Kgetlengrivier local municipality. There might be other critical stakeholders whose list I don't have for now. The Office of the Auditor-General and others will continue to acknowledge as we proceed. Can I allow honorable members, Fikile Klasa, who is chairperson of this portfolio committee? I saw in one report that this can as well be confused. We are the portfolio committee for cooperative governance and traditional affairs. And there's another committee, the select committee from the NCOP, that is also for cooperative governance and traditional affairs. So there is, I think I saw in one of the presentations, which I thought need to be clarified. And our work generally is the same, but when it comes to relating to municipalities, the select committee plays a crucial role when it talks about interventions. Which does not take away our responsibility as the portfolio committee. But I think that would continue to be an engagement. Can I allow honorable members to introduce themselves?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Becky Hatebe, a member of the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
I'm Tunika Mbumza.
Yes.
Morning, Chairperson.
Morning.
My name is Pretty Pindisile Kabanchaba, a member of the Cooperative Committee. Thank you.
Sure.
Good morning, Chair. Oh, sorry. You can go.
Oh, morning, Chairperson. I am Olani Msimango, a member of this portfolio committee. Thank you. Sorry, Tatu.
It's not a problem, colleague. Good morning, Chair.
Morning.
My name is Kanya Eza. I'm an alternate member of this committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. For now, it looks like it's quiet. Okay, Honorable Groenewald.
Sorry, Chair. My name is Michael Groenewald, and I'm part of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Portfolio Committee Secretary, can we get apologies?
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, everybody. We have apologies from the Minister and both teams. There will be an induction program at the Union Buildings. We also have an apology from Honorable Opperman. She is in a program in Northern Cape. We have apology from the DG. She's attending a meeting with the Auditor-General, and Mr. Mpho Mohale will be leading the delegation from TCOP. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Do we form a quorum?
Sorry, Chairperson. Yes, we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I'm sure we'll allow the two MECs as we get into the actual agenda. If there are any, or maybe let's do it and finalize the introduction. I've said we have got the MEC for Coghsta, Honorable Malloy, and HOD. Can we allow them to introduce their team?
I'm going to my room. Yeah.
I'm not sure now who is speaking. Or maybe let's change the approach as we present, and then we'll start with that. The agenda for today, it's engagement by the Portfolio Committee on the state of local governance in Kgetlengrivier local municipality. The focus is on that. We want to understand what is going on there. But presentations will follow this order. We'll start with Coghsta, followed by Treasury, followed by AXA, and followed by SALGA, followed by DCOG, then followed by Bojanala District Municipality, and the last would be the municipality we are about. But generally, the focus is on that state of the municipality and the support that gets given. According to the arrangement, we will start MEC Malloy with yourself, presentation by Coghsta, introduced by yourself. Then you are free to assign whoever must do what. Can I hand over to you as already welcomed? Over to you, MEC. By the way, if I say MEC, and it happens that you people from the department, you know something I don't know, somebody in line must then take over.
Good morning, Honorable. Good morning, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
My apologies because I thought MEC Malloy is on the platform, and good morning, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee and team and both teams from National Assembly administratively in the Portfolio Committees, as well as Coghsta team, as well as Provincial Treasury team, and all participants on the platform. Chair, my name is Mutlalipula Khosho. I'm the MEC for Provincial Treasury. Seeing that my colleague, Honorable Malloy, is not on the platform, I suspect he's also engaged with there's another program in the legislature, taking legislature to the people, where the Coghsta MEC must participate. I request that I just represent him because we are one team from the province. I will allow, if you allow me, Chair, let me hand over to Dr. Bole to take us through the presentation. And on the platform from Northwest, we also have Provincial Treasury, led by myself at the political level, but we have the SG and the HOD and Tatendlela Kunene, who will also give the presentation. So let me allow Dr. Bole from Coghsta side, but we are one team. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for taking leadership. Otherwise, I just had a list. That's why I was raising leading that, calling on Honorable Malloy. Thank you very much, Missy. Let's follow that order as outlined. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, honorable members. My name is Dr. Ben Bole, the head of Coghsta in the Northwest Province. I can confirm that what Honorable Hosho said, that Honorable Malloy is engaged in as far as this program of taking Parliament to the people is concerned. So he has requested me to extend his apologies. Chair, if you allow me to proceed, today, Chair, we are here on behalf of the province talking about Kgetleng local municipality. Kgetleng local municipality, Chair, it's a municipality that you'd find in the Bojanala district municipality. This is the municipality, Chair, that has not been doing well for quite some time. And therefore, Chair, to share with the committee is that this municipality for the past 9 years, Chair, in terms of the audit outcomes, in the financial year 2020-2021, this municipality got disclaimer. Financial year 2019-20, it also got disclaimer. 2018-19, Chair, it also got disclaimer. 2017 and 18, it got disclaimer. 4 consecutive years, Chair, this municipality got disclaimers. And in the financial year 2016-2017, it got unqualified audit. In 2015-16 financial year, it also got unqualified. Then in 2014-15, it got qualifications, consecutive qualification, Chair, from 2014-15, 2013-14, and 2012-13 financial year, Chair. So against this background, the Provincial Executive Council of the province held a meeting on the 22nd of August 2018, resolved in that meeting, Chair, to invoke section 1391B of the Constitution with effect from the 1st of September 2018. This decision was informed by a presentation which was then made by the MEC for Coghsta, indicating to the Executive Council the serious maladministration that was identified in that municipality, the poor governance and poor financial administration, which had a negative impact in as far as service delivery is concerned, Chair. Again, Chair, for the second time after 6 months, because this municipality, the intervention did not yield any positive result, then this intervention was then extended with effect from the 1st of March 2019.
Sorry. Who is supposed to flight the presentation? We don't see it. I think it would help us to have the presentation flighted. It will also help you for us to understand. Can we ask whoever, whether it's from our committee, who is supposed to flight the presentation?
Yeah, we have submitted the presentation Chair, to the committee. I'm sure the administrators of the committee would assist there.
Please, Portfolio Committee Secretary, can you flight the presentation? But you can continue in the meantime. I think let somebody else do that. And then that person must catch up with where you are. You can proceed, Dr. Wole.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. So again, Chair, this intervention was extended from the 1st of March 2019 to the 31st of August 2019. Chair, this is where I am, Chair, the last the bullet there. This extension was informed by the meeting which was held on the 27th of February 2019 of Provincial Executive Council, and Provincial Executive Council took that decision to extend the intervention. Chair. The next slide. Chair, this slide basically is talking about the triggers for intervention in Kgetleng. What triggered those interventions was the fact that, Chair, there was weak oversight by municipal council over the administration, and at that time, Chair, the municipality experienced violent service delivery protests, and then the protests adversely affected the rendering of services, which led to sewer spillage and interrupted supply of water and collection of refuse. So basically, the service delivery, Chair, was immensely affected to the extent that the water treatment plant of the municipality was also affected. There was also poor and lack of maintenance of water waste treatment plant. Yes, basically those are the, in summary, Chair, if I have to summarize this slide, these are the issues which triggered the intervention. Chair, can we go to slide number 9? Slide number 9. Thank you very much, Chair. In terms of the lesson learned, Chair, in as far as the intervention was concerned, is that one of the critical issues which was raised by the administrator was that the period of intervention to turn around the situation in the municipality, Chair, was actually very short. According to the report of the administrator. And secondly, Chair, the issue of implementing consequence management, the administrator also felt that you could not succeed, because what normally happens is that the officials, they are taking advantage that they will play a delaying tactics because they know the term of administrator is very short, and therefore there is nothing that can happen. And the biggest challenge again is that post-intervention, whoever who takes over from the progress made by the administrator at some point, follow-ups are not made, and so on and so forth. So the issue of the term of the intervention, according to the closeout report, is something that it needs to be looked into, Chair. And also during interventions, the advice is that we need to activate SAPs because normally there will be threats because the administrator will deal with some of the sensitive issues that actually those issues will actually pose some of threats to his life and so on. So therefore, going forward, we need to, invoke also the security when intervention is made. Thank you, Chair. Can we go to the slide 11? Slide 11. So now, in as far as the recommendations shared by the administrator is concerned, is that it takes, according to me, it will then takes 2 years to really turn around the situation if we are to, make a meaningful impact and contribution. And therefore, the term of the administrator, it needs to be re-looked into. And going forward, it is important that we incentivize municipality when the intervention is made, because normally what would happen is that we'll send the team for intervening that particular municipality, but that team will not come with the budget, to can change the situation there, because some of our municipalities, the province, are rural and they don't have budget and so on. So the recommendation is that going forward, when we intervene, we need also to ring-fence some budget to actually assist municipality based on the issues that shall have been identified, and that will then need the turnaround. As I said, the last bullet there, Change, talk about the consequence management. I've already spoken to this particular issue. Okay, if we can go to slide number 14, I just want to summarize slide number 14, Chair. This municipality, Chair, experienced excessive number of litigations by pressure groups against the municipality, and again, Chair, the situation in that particular municipality, also in as far as finances are concerned, it was, poor financial controls, so to speak, in that municipality. The municipality experienced long outstanding debts of ESCOM, SARS, Mahali Sota and other creditors, and also the situation basically, Chair, resulted into, a non-payment of statutory bodies or third parties, and so on and so forth, including pensions, SARS. This is how bad was the situation. And therefore, Mr. Motohwane was also deployed in that municipality to actually turn around the situation, Chair. And I must also emphasize the fact that we are working closely with our Provincial Treasury, led by the MEC Honorable Hosho, in trying to assist this municipality and turn around the situation. Chair, to continue to slide number 15, the issue of revenue collections was also very low in that particular municipality. And the issue of the recommended that we need to implement austerity measures to strengthen, financial controls in that particular municipality and so on. And during that particular time, the expert also assisted the municipality in preparing for the annual financial statements for the financial year 2020-2021. Chair, if you allow me to go to slide number 16. Slide number 16, basically, these are the key issues which were identified when the assessment was made, that in as far as issues of governance, institutional arrangement, financial management, service delivery, in summary, those were the big problems that the municipality experienced. If we go to slide number 17, council and council committees were not effective. Chair, and this has resulted in failure by management, and therefore the municipality, experienced poor contract management, system of delegation not approved, municipality adopted unfunded budget, and the municipality had huge contingency liabilities to the tune of 350 million. As I said at the beginning, the issue of poor audit outcomes were experienced in that municipality, and a slow implementation of audit action plan, IT management, amongst others. The issue of unauthorized irregular expenditure, unauthorized irregular fruitless and wasteful expenditure escalated, Chair. If we can go to slide number 21. Chair, slide number 21, this is where, as I said, we're working very closely with our provincial treasury. Currently, section 139, subsection 5, A and C of the Constitution was invoked, and the provincial treasury, after having conducted an assessment in terms of section 140 of the MFMA, and that assessment was communicated both to political and administrative leadership of the municipality, Chair. And a team has been introduced in the municipality this month to develop that financial recovery plan, which was imposed in terms of section 139, subsection 5, Chair. And also a provincial team was also established, as I said. We are working with the provincial treasury and some of our colleagues from Coghsta to support this municipality as far as financial related policies and bylaws are concerned. And we are also, assisting the municipality to support on outstanding government debt. Maybe just to emphasize, Chair, that currently there is a multidisciplinary team which is comprised of provincial treasury officials and the Coghsta officials. This team, it has been dispatched across the province, was given mandate by both MECs, Osho and MEC Malloy, to make sure that this team, amongst others, assist the municipalities across the province to ensure that they spend their conditional grants, because it has been a struggle, assist our municipalities in as far as issues of financial management and general blockages of service delivery. So we hope that going forward the situation will change. And what to be emphasized here is the fact that through provincial treasury, we are also assisting the municipalities to get their monies from the provincial departments in terms of rates and taxes, because some of the offices are based in our municipalities, and therefore provincial departments have got some outstanding debts that they need to pay to the municipality. So Treasury is assisting the municipality to consolidate what the provincial department owe to the municipality, so that those affected provincial departments then pay, so that we assist the municipality in terms of the cash flow. As I said, the team chair also support and monitor make expenditure, assist the municipality in terms of establishment and the functionality of the bid committees, because that it has been a problem. And the team specifically in Kgetlengrivier also assist the municipality to service this debt that the municipality is owed to ESCOM, and that owed to Mahali Sota. Yeah, so can we then go to slide number 22? This slide talks about the status of water provision. that the refurbishment of the Coghsta treatment works will commence in the next financial year, Chair, basically next month. So the project is to upgrade the water treatment plant and the installation of bulk meters, Chair, and Swartrochens and Borolelo. The plant is fully operational and was recently refurbished, and some of the assets are still under defects, liability or warranty period. And the plant productivity, Chair, meets the current water demand in Swartrochens and Borolelo. And Chair, the municipality is in the process of procuring new bulk meters for the Swartrochens treatment plant. Derby Town, Reagile Township, Chair, rely on 16 boreholes, of which 5 are currently functional. And the municipality will refurbish and upgrade boreholes in Derby, Reagile, Provincial. This next financial year, 2023-2024 financial year, Chair. So therefore, we therefore, Chair, recommend that the committee note, the SOP note the report as presented. And Chair, the SOP note the progress on the implementation of Section 139, subsection 5, A and B, read together with Section 139 of the MFMA, political and administrative leadership to support the provincial intervention team established to assist municipality, Chair, on financial related matters. So, Chair, thank you very much. I must also indicate, as I conclude, Chair, that in as far as senior managers, vacant positions are concerned, the municipality filled the position of the senior chief finance officer and the director for technical. So the last Sunday, they advertised the director for corporate services, community services, as well as planning and ADD. And I must also emphasize that MEC Maloyi also issued out a directive to all the municipalities in the province to make sure that by the end of April, those municipalities, they must make sure that they fill vacant senior positions across the board. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I think let's follow the guide of the MEC. MEC, you are in charge.
No, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will just, let's allow also through you, Chair, Provincial Treasury, will then allow Mr. Punene, who's the HOD for Provincial Treasury, to take us through what we've been requested to cover in terms of the support that we provided to the Kgetlengrivier municipality, Chair. Rekunene, if you could take us through the presentation where Dr. Bole had covered, you can just also maybe put emphasis on areas that he didn't actually give more details. Rekunene, proceed.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair, honorable members, colleagues from Coghsta, SALGA, and National also, and AG, and the political leadership from the National Department, Minister and Deputy Minister. Chair, I have already put the presentation on the wall. I just assume, Chair, that it is the Chair can see the presentation, so that I want.
Yes, we can see the presentation.
No, thanks, Chairperson. Chair, I think the purpose is self-explanatory. The background of the Kgetleng municipality, I think, have been succinctly covered by my colleague, Dr. Bole. And Chair, with your permission, some of the things that he would have raised as part of his presentation, because there's an alignment between our presentation and their presentation. And I would not repeat that, Chair, in terms of that. Chair, the slide number 6 deals with over and above the specific support that we are providing to the municipality. There are obviously transversal responsibilities that we have, and these are anchored on our support plan to the municipality, including Kgetleng. And it also takes cue from section 154 of the Constitution and 34 of the MFMA, which deals with support. We are working very hard, Chair, and I think I must also put a disclaimer that whilst we are putting a lot of efforts on the 4 and 6 focus areas that I've listed there, we are still yet to see the impact, Chair, in terms of this intervention or this focus area. For example, we are working with, continuously working with the municipality on ensuring that they have a funded budget. We are still obviously grappling with that because we have not reached that pinnacle or that objective in terms of, we have engaged on the 2022, we have engaged also in terms of the current, on the new financial year as part of the process of the medium-term budget assessment. One of the enabler that you are also working with the municipality and providing the necessary support is on the M-score, and where we are, obviously the idea is to modernize financial management, and we are working with the municipalities to use their systems that is currently there to draw the information from the system based on the M-score. And we are also picking up the gaps, which gap I think we are working with them. The audit outcomes is not as what we have achieved in terms of improved audit outcome. However, we have worked with them on the web-enabled audit action plan. And you are continuously looking at the assessment of the intervention. Chairperson, am I?
Somebody who is disturbing. I don't know who he is.
No, thanks, Chairperson. And then the last part is on the recovery services, which is about the financial recovery plan. And I think it has also partly been covered by Dr. Bole. On the capacity building based on the framework, we are looking at on the job training, where we obviously provide assistance by supporting and obviously appointing people in the municipality. And for the period 2022-2020, I think we did assist the Kgetleng with colleagues who were actually part of the BTO. We are also looking at continuous capacity gap filling, where we have a directive of the tasks that staff should ordinarily do. The downside of it, Chair, is that in instances where we are providing the necessary support, and I think it takes a bit of long for the municipality to obviously fill the vacant post because they are dependent on that. The objectives, as I said, is that we are looking at 3 broad areas. One is on the GRAP M-score and ensuring that the M-score is aligned to the reporting. Some of the lessons that we have picked up, Chair, I think without dealing in detail with everything, but for example, that the financial health of Kgetleng is not improving and the provision of services is worsening, regardless of the various support mechanisms provided by national and provincial government. As indicated by Dr. Bole, obviously the intervention was escalated to look at the financial recovery plan, working with National Treasury, and we are looking at the 4 following pillars: governance, institutional capacity, financial management, and service delivery. We are of the view that the implementation of the requires collaborative efforts from all stakeholders, including but not limited to SALGA, national department, provincial department, including some of our boards, particularly around the water situation. Chair, what we have picked up as part of our continuous support, this is not exhaustive, but those are the things that I think the big issue is that whereas there's a lot of efforts to improve the situation in Kgetleng, and I think it is common cause that to date, I think we are still working on that journey, or we are still working on the program, because the situation has not improved drastically, especially audit outcome, some of the elements that we are looking at in terms of the issues of the financial health, and it's still a big issue in terms of the municipality. Dr. Bola did indicate that the both MEC for Finance and Coghsta obviously were directed by EXCO to commence with the process of the mandatory intervention stroke implementation of the financial recovery plan. And the Provincial Treasury is the lead department in the implementation of this intervention. And we have adopted the following to ensure that all affected stakeholders understand, including engagement with the municipality. We have had various engagement with the new council and the old council, and we are also working with National Treasury in terms of the financial recovery services. Our view, Chair, is that whatever we do in Kgetleng as part of the mandatory intervention, it should be participatory, and we should obviously bring on board all stakeholders and share with them the information and progress that we are achieving in relation to that. Just a high level, and I think Dr. Bola has already, we have done the status quo, Chair. NT has mandated by law, obviously, to compile the financial recovery plan. So we have commenced with that process. In the interim, would be implementing what we call the interim rescue plan. So there's going to be a parallel process that whilst we have worked on the interim rescue plan based on the status quo report, the National Treasury would also be working with us and all the stakeholders to develop with the view of implementing a comprehensive financial recovery plan for the municipality. We are finalizing the process of deployment of the provincial executive rep, and the submission will be submitted to the Executive Council for consideration of the names. And as soon as that process is concluded, we'll then deploy the provincial executive rep supported by the team in terms of the municipality. Just a high level progress to date, Chair, as I said, is that it's a collaborative effort. We are done with the status quo. We have developed the interim rescue plan, and we will be implementing it. We are finalizing the appointment of the PER, and we think that it will go a long way. And we will also support the PER with a multidisciplinary team, which would include, but not limited to, experts in terms of governance and institutional, finance, legal, and service delivery. In addition to the PER, the provincial, in collaboration with Provincial Coghsta, National Coghsta, MISA, Department of Water and Sanitation, SALGA, will establish a panel to be appointed on the areas that I've mentioned. And we think that it will go a long way. We are of the view, Chair, that with the implementation of the financial recovery plan, I think it's not a short-term program. Obviously, it can take anything from 1 year to 3 years. And I think all the challenges that are there in terms of the ministry, we are of the view that they would be addressed, because the financial recovery plan is going to cover not only issues of service delivery, but it will also address issues of capacity governance, institutional, and obviously at the heart of the challenges also, it is going to be improving the financial health of the municipality. As I said, the National Treasury has commenced with the process of the financial recovery plan. The process commenced in March, and obviously we would also be commencing with the implementation of the rescue plan, which is the interim measure. And I've indicated the method applied by the municipal finance in the development of which looks at issues of service delivery, financial health, institution, and governance. And we are of the view that we should be able to achieve a funded budget as part of the implementation of the financial recovery plan, and we would commence that with the implementation of the rescue plan. We are making the last point, Chair. The success of the financial will also be dependent on the leadership, commitment, and stability by all stakeholders, including council, management of the municipality, and all the stakeholders, which would include us, Provincial Treasury, National Treasury, Department of Water and Sanitation, SALGA, and Provincial Coghsta and National Coghsta. Because that success hinges on total commitment by all stakeholders to ensure that we permanently and comprehensively address the challenges that obviously Kgetleng is experienced. The last part, Chair, I think is consistent with my colleague. What he has said is that note the support, although we accept, Chair, that the support, although it was provided by all stakeholders, including National Coghsta, Provincial Treasury, we are yet to see, obviously, the much improved financial health and other challenges that are there that are addressed. And we are of the view that the second bullet should help us, at least in the final analysis, to resolve some of the challenges, which is going to be about the implementation of a comprehensive financial recovery plan, working with all the stakeholders, and obviously based on the commitment and support by all involved, including the leadership of the municipality. Chair, I've tried my best to summarize the presentation without repeating what my colleagues would have said as part of the first presentation by Coghsta, because the two presentations are aligned. Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. If there's anything, or you'll wait for questions, if there's anything that you'd want to say to round up the presentation.
No, thank you, Chair. Just to round up the presentation, Chair, we are already having a plan with as a joint effort between Coghsta and Provincial Treasury on how are we going to follow through the integrated program between amongst all the stakeholders. We had a session with all the mayors, and Kgetleng was part of that last week on the 7th, in making sure that the issues of financial viability, the issues of service delivery, institutional capacity are threshed out. So we are outlining that plan. Lastly, Honorable Chair, I just wanted also to share with you, as part of the support program, Provincial Treasury did launch a leadership program around supply chain management, where we partnered with National Treasury, and it was and with the Education, Training and Development sector. We had run that program, and last week, Friday, we yielded the results. However, we still need to see the impact within the units of BTOs, where we had 58 graduates, and 3 of them is across the province. Then 3 was also from Kgetleng officials as part of the in-job training. They now have acquired N2 level 5 qualification. So it's part of the program. We've agreed that we will be taking them to the next level around supply chain management. And we are deliberate because we need to respond to issues of post-audit action plans, matters of emphasis as raised by the Auditor-General. So we are focusing within the B2O to ensure that we strengthen capacity, we handhold into the municipalities, and Kgetlengrivier municipality is part of the beneficiaries of that project. I must say that we've prioritized Kgetleng as well from our side, Chair, also as a result of the previous encounters where the municipal account had to be taken over by other NGOs, your AfriForum and so forth. So we are focusing on that, especially with the financial recovery plan. Thank you, Chair. I think I'll pause at that, Chair. I thought I just needed to sum up also from both departments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move to the Office of the Auditor-General, team led by Mr. Sibisi, who is business leader from that office. You will also introduce your team and then continue with the presentation. Welcome. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Greetings to the members of this committee, MEC Hosho, the HODs that are here, the councillors and the rest of the support team and colleagues. Chairperson, by way of introduction, I'm Thokozi Sisibisi. I am the business unit leader responsible for this province, the AGSA office in this province. I am not alone on this call, Chairperson. I am with my colleagues, Miss Pamela Mamei, who is the senior manager that would have audited Kgetleng, responsible for Kgetleng local municipality chair. That is Pamela. I also have on this call the stakeholder liaison manager, Miss Nombulelo Ngome. I do believe that we also have a stakeholder liaison manager based in Cape Town. That's the team from our side, Chairperson. Just to kick off the presentation, firstly, I want to thank this committee, Chairperson, for the opportunity for us to come and present the audit outcomes of Kgetleng local municipality. I honestly do believe and hope that the insights that we are going to be sharing, Chair, is going to assist this committee in playing the critical oversight role that it needs to play as it holds the municipality and the rest of the auditees accountable. That is covered, and then that is in line with our mission and vision on slide 2 on the next slide, Chairperson. And then on the next slide, in slide 3, Chairperson, that's the depiction of, and I want to believe that it's a slide that you've seen for a couple of times now, but that's the pictorial depiction of all the key role players, Chairperson and members, that we believe we're going to need to try and shift the public sector culture, because we certainly are clear that we won't be able to do that all by ourselves, and we need the rest of the role players in there with us, playing that critical strategic partnership with everyone involved, Chairperson. But given the time that we've got, I do not want to waste any further time. With your permission, I am going to allow Ms. Mamei to continue with the rest of the presentation from slide 4 to give the insights to this committee. Thank you so much, Chairperson, Ms. Mamei.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, honorable members, and Mrs. and colleagues. Thank you, Mrs. So then on slide 4, this is just now the financial, the quality of the financial statements, the predetermined objectives and compliance with legislation. And there has not been much compared for these 2 years in the last few years within the municipality. So
it looks like there's a problem with
the reporting principles that are
Wait, I can't hear you well. There's a problem with your network. I don't know if there's anything you can do. We can't hear.
Thank you. I wonder if it's better now.
Continue. Let's hear if it is better.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I've tried to just move around, Chair. Thank you so much. So on slide 4, on the financial outcome,
The problem is bigger now. I'm not sure the Mr. CBC, we could hear you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chairperson. I think whilst Ms. Mamade tries to find the spot to at least where she can be audible, I will at least continue for now. So Chairperson, the slide that we are on depicts the audit outcomes of the Kgetleng local municipality. I think at the core of it, Chair, is that what we have picked up is that obviously the municipality has got its own vision and mission, and then on the basis of the audit outcomes that we've seen over a couple of years now, the outcomes are not necessarily aligned to what the municipality itself wants to achieve. But summarizing some of the key things, Chair, that anchored the outcomes from the financial statements point of view that have been disclaimed, looking at the past 2 years as well, is that at the core of it, and I think my colleagues from Treasury and Coghsta also spoke to that, that the basic, really basic disciplines in the financial control environment are lacking within the municipality. And if you think about it, it's really not anything difficult to get the financial statements sorted, but it's a conversation that at our level as auditors, coming from our perspective, would have had with the municipalities. At the core and the center of it, on the preparation of financial statements and the conversation we've had, which remains a worry for us, the continuous use of consultants without necessarily the accurate and complete underlying records, which will enable the consultants to produce something meaningful within the municipality itself. And on performance information, it's not anything new where the information is not supported by credible and complete information, or the document what technically will be called a technical indicator, which does not adequately outline the desired outcome, the source of funding in the document, and the role players that need to play in that space. And as well as in the SCM space, the really basic disciplines of attending to the things that will capacitate and enable the SCM unit within the finance to be able to attend to the compliance issues, which if not, as they're not attended to, continue then to result in increased irregular expenditure. So that is in the main on the overall audit outcomes, Chairperson, how the picture is looking like. On the next slide, the next slide talks about the things that are in place and the tools and the resources that are put in place to try and assist the municipality. And my colleagues, I think HODs have also touched on this, but what we generally look into and check is that we continuously see that within this finance or BTOs, there are people in there. We've got about $500 million salary within that unit. Yes, there is a vacancy rate of about 30%, but the angle and the conversation we've had with the municipalities to say those that are in the units themselves, it would be critical within the BTO unit, it would be critical that at least they attempt to prepare to do the basics within the municipality. And whenever the use of consultants are needed, that to be left to really complex issues within the preparation of financial statements or BTO related activities. Whilst we understand and acknowledge that there might be lack of skills, and that's where then the capacitation needs to come in. And I think to a certain extent, I think that's the point that the MEC was touching on, to say it's important to start capacitating. At the point, capacitating the BTOs in various municipalities, including Kgetleng, with the financial reporting consultants, that remains a serious concern, not necessarily from the fact that consultants are being used, but it's the value that the consultants need to add after they've been brought into the municipality. I think that's the critical part, and we've tried to almost dramatize that number, the 8.2 million, to say we also just need to look at the amount that different municipalities are spending on consultants in context. That for you take 8.2 in us trying to drive the point there, to say you take 8.2 million chairperson from that is used by the municipality. If you just divide that by an average salary of a newly qualified chartered accountants, and you that in an Kgetleng local municipality, that will give you about really 12 or 13 qualified chartered accountants, if you were to look at it that way. We're dramatizing it so that the spending on consultants is given their attention, because there is also a spending on the finance units themselves. But we acknowledge the interventions by provincial treasury and provincial Coghsta, especially with the experts and the colleagues that are there trying to help the municipality. We understand that it's not going to be an overnight thing, but and the important part is that all the critical role players will have to be in the space and fully behind what the provincial interventions or provincial coordinating departments are trying to do to try and help the municipality. In the main, the unfortunate part is that with all the resources that are put in there, we're still seeing poor quality financial statements, or the performance reporting itself is still not at the right level. And the bottom, we're summarizing some of the root causes why we've seen or observed what we are seeing there. On the next slide, Chairperson, we're summarizing the financial aspect of the municipality, talking to the financial health itself. I think the critical part for us and the conversation that we'd have had with the municipality is the revenue enhancement aspect of things. Some of the critical things is that the municipality, within its boundaries and what it can do, it's important for it to focus on some of the revenue enhancements initiative, working obviously with the supporting coordinating institutions, but that alone should not, trying to enhance revenue without taking into account the debt collection processes and measures, it's not going to assist, because that you get money, but that money will move into an uncollectible, or the debt that will be written off because it will not be collected. And when we had the conversation around that, I think the critical part, and what is clear, Chair, is that the revenue enhancement program and initiatives, including the debtors collection, given the fact that for quite some time, citizens and communities have gotten to a stage and a point where they were comfortable with not paying for services for various reasons. What is important is that there is going to be a need for the councillors and councils and politicians to support that initiative, because the biggest risk is going to be that, or challenge rather, is that even if there are all these initiatives that the municipality would want to put in place, without the support of the councillors and people within councils through their own constituencies, because they come from their constituencies, to support that, we're unlikely to see anything meaningful coming out of that. So I think it's something that the speaker and the politicians will have to drive robustly, if the initiatives and activities that Coghsta and Treasury together with the municipality will try to do as part of that. But in all honesty, I think the municipality will have to now start dissecting the debtors or the people that are owing the municipality, differentiating between those that can afford and those that cannot afford to pay, so that the stricter measures in terms of the debt collection policy can be implemented. Chairperson, we've tried to highlight the root causes there of the strained financial health. To say it will be critical in putting through all these measures. And I got comfort from the two presentations, and especially from Treasury, when they say it will be possible to shift and move the municipality from the unfunded budget to a funded budget. But that means it will be critical for the municipality to have all the guidelines and when budgeting for revenues, and making sure that the basic disciplines are in place, and the planning itself and all the role players are playing in that space to trying to assist. On the next slide, Chair, this slide we talk about infrastructure assets, and we're summarizing infrastructure assets, and the context is that for the municipality to be able to deliver services and uninterrupted services, there is going to be a need for a focused spending on infrastructure assets, because if the municipality is not investing heavily on infrastructure asset, it means those that are in the environment will have to be maintained deliberately and that planned properly. So in this instance, we looked at the spending on the infrastructure assets in line with what is recommended. We're seeing that it's still below that, but even the existing spending, we just need to make sure that the existing spending on infrastructure asset management is aimed at ensuring that the security of supply of services is secured through those infrastructure assets that need to be there. Some of the root causes, Chairperson, that we see where the municipality did not have a maintenance infrastructure maintenance plan in place, that is unlikely to result in a coordinated and a meaningful maintenance of infrastructure assets. So then that's where we need the municipal manager and the senior managers, not just the asset manager, but all the senior managers that are playing in that space, especially in technical services, to play their space and contribute in making sure that these assets and infrastructure is maintained. So in this instance, would like to see the municipal manager putting in controls to make sure that the wastewater treatment work is secured. That is coming from the work that we did as part of the visits of the key projects, where we realized that there is still no adequate measures put in place to make sure that the treatment of water or water treatment plants are secured adequately. But that goes hand in hand with the infrastructure assets and the work that needs to be done in that space. On the next slide, Chairperson, we deal with so I see the slide is now not moving. Okay. On the next slide, Chair, we deal with the lack of accountability and increasing irregular expenditure. The biggest concern is that we had conversations last year about the high irregular expenditure incurred, but that number further increased further in the current year from 275 to 369. But with that, what we would have hoped to see then the measures put in place by the municipality, making sure that the balance of irregular expenditure is adequately addressed. But to this date, we have not seen anything done on either the recovery or the recovery of the monies through the investigation that would have been done to determine whether anyone is responsible or the municipality need to recover money, or if the indication is that no one is responsible, then the process of writing that off or condoning. So the entire balance that we're talking about is still not taken care of. And in the main, it's because the MPEC itself is not capacitated adequately to assist with the investigations as required by this. And this is where we call upon the various stakeholders to play in this, to try and assist. Why? Because we have picked up that it's not only Kgetleng that where the MPECs are struggling either with the capacitation or even understanding what needs to be done to make sure that the work that is required in terms of MFMA section 32.2 is done adequately to deal with irregular expenditure. But that is the conversation we were hoping to have with the provincial coordinating departments, which is Treasury and Coghsta, after having met with the various municipalities and identified the magnitude and the extent of the issues insofar as the capacity of the MPECs is concerned. And Kgetleng is also not spared from those challenges. But in the main, if we break down the irregular expenditure, we say the big chunk of it comes from the municipality breaching the pillars within the procurement, within the 5 pillars within the constitutions of competitiveness, the fairness, on the transparency. And in certain instances where what we've tried to do was to try and split and say, of this irregular expenditure, how much of it as a team we could not see any value obtained. And to that extent, we've got about 5.6 million in that. And the rest, it's because of non-compliance with legislation. That is the story on irregular expenditure. On the next one, Chairperson, I'll just wait for the next slide. On the next slide, So this is the extension of what I've spoken about, and this is linked to the work that will have to be done by the municipality and the governance structures in dealing with the unauthorized and fruitless and wasteful expenditure. The same initiatives and activities that will have to happen when the municipality deals with irregular expenditure, that is the rigor that is expected to happen in here. But in the main, I think once the municipalities, including this one, is able to fix the vacancies and the issues within, or the capacity, skills and competencies within the BTO offices, I think that will go a long way in making sure that the budgeting process itself is followed adequately and it makes sense, and then avoid unauthorized irregular expenditure. Then on fruitless and wasteful, this is a, Chairperson, this is a one of those difficult ones, because some of these, the amounts that we are seeing here in the main come from the interest and penalties coming from an overdue accounts, either ESCOM or water. And to the extent that the municipality does not have enough money to cover that, we are likely to see this coming these penalties coming up from time to time, which requires a dedicated time on the budgeting process and making sure that the budget itself is funded. On the next slide, okay. Next slide is a reminder of material irregularities that we issue, and I think for Kgetleng we issued one material irregularity relating to I think section 62. The disclaimer, what we termed the disclaimer municipality, where the municipality was not able to provide adequate and sufficient records to make sure that the audit process and is carried out and is able to move out of that disclaimer. And where this process is, Honorable Chair, is that we've allowed the municipalities, including Kgetleng, to take advantage of the support program and initiatives that are coming from jointly from Coghsta and Provincial Treasury in trying to assist municipalities deal with the issues. And Treasury and Coghsta having shared the initiatives that they've planned to roll out at the municipalities as part of their legislated mandate, we picked up that there are some of the activities and items that are going to be rolled out by the coordinating institutions that will talk to some of the recommendations that we had issued as part of the disclaimer municipality, disclaimer MI. However, whilst this might have moved to a recommendation stage, as an institution and organization, we decided, Chair, that we will pause, because we understand that some of the things that we want to see being implemented to address this, those things are not going to happen in a short space of time. So to the extent that those will be addressed by the initiatives done by Coghsta and Treasury, especially the financial recovery plan and the support that Coghsta is providing with the provisions of the resources to the municipalities. And we are just hoping, as part of shifting the municipality from an unfunded to funded, that will address some of the things that are there. But from an organization point of view, we are going to be taking a decision at a firm level to say, what are we going to do with the material irregularities to the extent that there is not adequate movement. But specifically to Kgetleng, I think the delay in the appointment of the CFO at that level, and that would have assisted the municipality to try to start implement some of the things that ought to have been implemented. I know I've spent some time on this, but it's critical because the conversation that we've had is that all we want to see happening going forward is that at least we want to see municipalities avoiding material irregularities rather than reacting and implementing things after we've issued material irregularities. On the next slide, then this slide, Chairperson, summarizes the message from last year. So it summarizes the message from last year insofar as Kgetleng is concerned, where we had the message itself, we had requested, and our expectation is that the tone at the political and administrative leadership level create a zero tolerance for non-compliance and transgressions, to say the corrective actions are taken swiftly to try and change the environment, that the culture of performance is institutionalized. And I think that should actually work better with the changes that have come through with the regulations, with especially the cascading of performance agreements to the rest of employees within the municipalities. We're hoping that that will assist, will come a long way to assist the municipalities and this municipality to assist. And from that message and the commitments that came out of the conversation is that then the accounting officer to share the to ensure that the implementation of the recommendations coming from the audit opinion through the post-audit action plans that are implemented, and to making sure that whilst the municipality might have issues with financial viability, but just to make sure that they engage and agree with critical service providers and stick with the agreements stick within the agreements within those, or arrangements rather with those. But reflecting on that, unfortunately, I think the municipality started giving us information in response to either the MI itself and the recommendation and the message from last year, but it has not been adequate for the municipality to get out of the disclaimer itself. In honoring the payments, I think the arrangement, it has been a difficult one, because it's not only the key critical ones. I think the municipality has at the point where it couldn't even pay our own audit fees. And I think now it's within the local government municipalities in Northwest. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kgetleng is the second highest owing municipalities when it comes to audit fees. That talks to the ability of the municipality to pay the critical service providers. What, as the call to action going forward, we're saying the process that the provincial coordinating departments are embarking on, that follows a certain logical approach, in that when we deal with the unfunded budget, to make sure that the budget prescripts themselves are supported by realistic and revenue that can be attained and collectible, and that the financial disciplines need to be put in place. We are hoping, in the conversation that we've had, we're hoping to see the gradual reduction in consultancy fees whilst the BTO offices are being capacitated. Just to close off, to wrap up, I think this is the last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Can you just move on to the next slide? The next slide, please. Whilst we move to the, yeah, okay, that was the last slide. In closing, Chair, from our side as an audit office, I think there are efforts by the provincial coordinating departments to assist municipalities. Coming from our side, I have at my level, I have had engagements with, at this point, with more than half of municipalities already. And luckily, I've had a conversation with Kgetleng local municipality, with the mayor, and I think the chairperson of the audit committee was part of that meeting. And the conversations that we've had, we're now in line with the culture shift strategy. We've tried to be as specific as possible on the things that we believe and hope that the municipality can implement into, so for it to shift from where it currently is, from the audit outcomes and the experiences of the people on the ground, to the next point. And the intention of such conversation was that we as auditors coming from the outside, looking at their environment, we're proposing those things and allow them, the leadership of the municipality, to look at those and say, what is it that might pose challenges for them, so that we tweak those. The intention is to make sure that between now and end of June, the municipality is able to lay the foundation, lay the land in terms of the plan, and making sure that the critical things that it needs and the plans it needs from the next financial year, those things are ready to implement. And I've had the conversation with more than half of the municipalities already. In the plans that we are sharing with the municipalities, or the recommendations that we're sharing with the municipalities, we are obviously including the things that we believe that for that specific municipality, Coghsta and Treasury can also do. But that conversation is a conversation that I was planning to roll up to the colleagues within Coghsta and Treasury once I'm done with the visits of all the municipalities. That is the presentation, Chair, from our side. And thank you, and apologies that Ms. Memey was not able to do the presentation. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. I think, honorable members, we have laid the foundation for us to have a sense of what is happening in Kgetleng local municipality. I would now ask the presenters that would follow. We'll take 5 minutes from each one of them. I should have indicated in the beginning that we were allowed a maximum of 15 minutes. We are dropping it now to 10. But there will be no debate about it. I'll be managing it. We will now move to SALGA, and Councillor Wuma, who is the leader of the team, must lead, and possible start with introducing the other members of the team. Over to you, Councillor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairperson. Like you indicated, my name is Councillor Mabalehuma. I'm the SALGA delegate to the NCOP, and with me is the PDO of SALGA, Desiree Troile, and the officials from SALGA. I've seen those that have logged in is Tate Knox Mulati, Dr. Malebogo Mogotsi, Zandile Stirman, Laurentina Diale. Those are the members of SALGA that have logged in. And let me as well acknowledge the presence of the honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, the Provincial Coghsta, Provincial Treasury led by MEC Hosho, Office of the AG, leadership of Kgetleng, Mayor, Chief Whip, and the Speaker. The one who will be presenting, Chairperson, on behalf of SALGA. And I'll make sure that I stick to the 10 minutes allocated. Can I continue with the presentation, Chairperson?
Please, yes, allowed.
Yeah, thank you very much. The presentation, the outline of the presentation will be as follows. We're going to have the overview of the role of SALGA, corporate services and capacity building, budget and treasury offices and municipal finance, infrastructure and trading services, community development and social services, councillor support and governance. On the overview of the role of SALGA, our mandate as SALGA is
Sorry, Chair.
the key
Sorry,
mandate.
Salga. Can we see the presentation, please?
Let's our secretariat must always help us with that, please.
You'll indicate to me when to continue, Chair.
No, I want you to continue whilst these ones are putting up this continue.
The presentation. Okay, no, thank you. Our mandate and role of SALGA in local government, the key mandate is to assist in transforming local government to enable it to fulfill the development mandate. Amongst other issues is to lobby, advocate, protect, and represent the interest of local government at the relevant structures and platform. We act as an employer body representing all municipal members and by agreement associate members, building the capacity of the municipality as an institution, as well as the leadership and technical capacity of both councillors and officials. As SALGA, we also support and advise our members on a range of issues to assist effective execution of the mandate. We also build the profile and image of local government within South Africa, as well as outside the country. And lastly, as SALGA, we serve as the main hub of local government and intelligence to facilitate peer learning within the sector, hence inspiring service delivery. We have identified through the different directorates in Kgetleng, that is the section or the unit, the municipal challenges, the description of the support, and what is needed next. Under corporate services, the challenges identified there is that Kgetleng do not have properly aligned organogram. Their organogram is not properly aligned with the current needs. Failure for them to perform vetting, lack of requisite skills or qualification, issue of job evaluation has been identified as well as a challenge. Staff verifications are not conducted to determine if all employees are accounted for and ensure that there are no ghost employees. And then the description of support to Kgetleng is that we are hands-on working with Coghsta in the province in terms of the issue of the organogram. As SALGA, we provide vetting and competency assessment for Section 56 and Section 57, of course, free of charge. Job evaluation report has been submitted to management and it is awaiting the municipality to implement. The payroll check verification to be done by the municipality to make sure that there are no ghost employees. And then on what is next is the municipality has to finalize the reviewing of their organizational structure, ensure that the current job evaluation by SALGA is aligned with the new organizational structure, review of all irregular appointments and determine if they should be set aside or even reversed, to determine unfunded or unfunded mandate. And then in terms of capacity building, there's high vacancy rate in critical positions, failure to implement consequence management or disciplinary processes, something that is also identified by the Office of the AG, functions of council and administration committees, failure to promote good corporate governance. The description of support, the municipality needs to adhere to Circular 2 of 2023 issued by Coghsta on filling of vacancies. The municipality should establish a disciplinary board training of presiding officers and initiators regularly conducted by SALGA, training to be provided by SALGA as well. And then what is next to happen, the municipality's promotion of good governance, corporate governance, establish performance management office, institutionalization of system of delegation, proper training on job training of development of oversight, SALGA to populate corporate governance checklist, that is the functionality of council committees, MPEG, audit and audit committees. Still on capacity building, we have noted that among the challenges from the municipality, there's non-attendance of LLF training or workshops by administrative officials and councillors responsible for corporate governance portfolio. The municipality does not participate in the job evaluation process at district level. So we are saying that as SALGA, we arrange training and only 2 different members attend the 2-day training. called a job evaluation unit and PAC meeting on the 7th of October 2022, update information of newly appointed officials. So we are going to conduct another LLF training and we're expecting the relevant officials and councillors to attend. Update on contact list from Kgetlengrivier local municipality to ensure that the current HR officials manager participate at job evaluation unit district level. SALGA support to establish all corporate governance structures and development of corporate governance checklist. And then on budget and treasury office, which is the finance one, there's increased electricity and water losses, lack of proper tariffs for areas such as farmers, lack of monitoring and management of actual water and electricity readings. The description of support, water loss management 2021-2022, dissemination of 3 NRW briefs, development of a guideline on computation water balance study in the municipal water distribution water audits, the master classes on benchmarking that was held, deployment of smart systems, case study of Saldanha Bay local municipality and Cape Algas on smart metering were shared with the municipality. DWS, DBSA and World Bank session on. And then we are saying that we need to assist or guide the development of process to monitor water and electricity losses on a monthly basis. Still on budget and treasury, what has been noted as challenges is depleted investor confidence, loss of revenue as well. And then we hosted the following training with a focus of improving audit outcomes, budget and monetary records management, asset management. And as SALGA in collaboration with Coghsta, we supported the municipality on government debt. And then we are saying that what needs to happen next is improved audit outcome, assist with the development and implementation of the post-audit action plan, guide and assist with the revenue of the risk register and standard operating procedures with respect to revenue, monitor and advise management with the implementation of the recovery plan. Still on municipal finance, the supply chain management process not adhered to. It has been identified as one of the challenges because some bids were appointed without being adjudicated. Other various appointments were made without following the supply chain management process. And then we hosted the following training with the focus of improving audit outcomes, budget and monitoring, which includes supply chain management. And we're saying we need to continue provide support on financial management to the municipality. Budget not funded as one of the challenges, votes or programs not adequately budgeted for or under budgeted, interest and penalties on late payments of creditors, expenditure registers in place but not updated as one of the challenges, and budget training, which includes training on the review of monthly and mid-term reports was provided to Kgetleng. Budget training, which include training on the review of monthly and mid-year reports. And then we're saying we need to support or train members on the job, the committees of council with the review of monthly reports and mid-year, assist and give guidance on the implementation of an active cash management system to enable it to maintain sound liquidity. Still on the issues of budget and treasury, we have noted or it has been written as a challenge that accounting officer has not investigated UIF and W as required by Section 32 of the MFMA. MPEC supported on UIF and wasteful expenditure on the 28th to the 30th of June 2022. And then there was an induction of MPEC on June 2022. And we say what needs to happen is the review of the UIF and wasteful expenditure reduction plan and give guidance on the implementation and monitoring of the plan. Give guidance on the investigation of all reported allegations of financial misconduct against officials and apply consequence management on irregular expenditure. And then on the issue of infrastructure or service delivery, challenges identified is that compliance with water and sanitation services, senior management or EXCO monitoring performance against the standard. Example, your monthly reports on service provision, extent of challenges in meeting the water and sanitation service standards, level of water in the municipality as it is embedded in the bylaws or policy. The municipality status in terms of roads and stormwater infrastructure is characterized as a serious challenge. Hence, the bulk of the municipal infrastructure grant for the past 3 years has been used on roads. Backlog in utilization of MECON projects, There's a serious water shortage, no bylaws in electrical department, water losses undermined due to lack of finances. And then the budget training, which include training on the review of monthly and media reports. And support is still needed, and training of council with the review of monthly reports and media reports. Coastal bulk meter project to be initiated. Zonal bulk meters to be placed in township in the next phase of the project. On community services, in Bojanala Platinum District Municipality, libraries are a function of the DCAC, but are managed by local municipalities. So there's lack of clarity in terms of powers and function between district municipalities and local municipalities with regard to this function. And there's this perception of disaster management as a response function as opposed to proactive function. There's lack of effective integration across municipal services. Disaster management plans not regularly reviewed and budgeted for. Structure of the department, inadequate capacity in the department. And then what we did as SALGA, we conducted council induction on disaster management and fire services on the 4th of August 2022. And we're still saying there's a need for reestablishment of disaster department, continued negotiating with the BAGIP from Bojanala District Municipality to assist Kgetlengrivier local municipality with available resources to proactively respond to disasters. Still on community and social development, water shortages, the informal settlement around the municipality, and there's no disaster management center. So as SALGA, we supported the provincialization of library service and currently still lobbying for increased budget on the matter. And then the establishment of the disaster management center is a need. Appointment of a manager disaster management, address the water problem in the municipality, and then the municipality needs to budget for disaster management services. On development and planning, human settlement, the municipality does not have human settlement as part of its core function. It only plays a coordinating role for and on behalf of the provincial government. And what has been noted as a challenge is skills existing in town planning department, but the department only lacks capacity. There's no spatial development framework and no building regulations by law. And what needs to happen is a review or development of SDFs, assist with development of bylaws, assessment of informal settlement into categories, and develop programs to implement the LED strategy, because the LED strategy has been finalized. And then on councillor support or governance, challenges there is effective oversight role by council over executive and administration. There's lack of additional support capacity, lack of alignment in the structure of the MM office and council support. Disciplinary board resuscitation, we have to assist at SALGA. And then what needs to happen is maintenance of disciplinary register, promotion of consequence management and accountability. On legal services, the municipality is financially exposed because of the excessive number of litigations. Litigations by ratepayers association due to poor service delivery and non-compliance with legislation, that is your Municipal Property Rates Act, environmental laws, etc. Contracts are not drafted in a manner that protects the interests of the municipality, and it contributes to legal disputes. The attachment of assets of the municipality by court orders, failure to pay for service rendered within the legislated period, which is 30 days. The municipality appointed a legal manager in September 2021, but the municipality does not honor court orders. And then what has been support given there by SALGA, Coghsta facilitates settlement of this court judgment and implementation of the judgment. A 3-year or SLA was signed with Magalies Water to deal with wastewater treatment works. And as SALGA, legal services should assist by engaging the Ratepayers Association and Water to work towards partial solutions. I think that is the end of my presentation, and I adhere to the time allocation. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, leadership. We will now move to DCOG. The team leader of DCOG, same arrangement, 10 minutes. Mr. Mohale.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and let me also greet all the members, the honorable members of the committee. And let me also greet the MEC Kgetlengrivier, as well as the HOD for Cooperative and also for Treasury, including the leadership of SALGA. With me, honorable members, I'm accompanied by DDG Ellen Zimbwa, who is in MISA, and we are also having Mr. George Kasose. He is a professional engineer that is currently assigned to Kgetlengrivier Municipality, including Ponso Nkenjani, who is the provincial manager for MISA on our behalf, and Mr. Flora Nkwana. Miss Flora Nkwana is also a chief director that is responsible for Northwest province on behalf of the department, accompanied by Kgetlengrivier Makhola. Yes, we all can see that this municipality continues to limp, and despite all our efforts, but we must continue to strive to deal with the challenges in this municipality, and the officials especially led by the MM, has to begin to demonstrate the resolve to really deal with some of the challenges. Some of them are within their capacity or their authority. Others may have to be done by MPEC, but there are certain things that they can do, notwithstanding that MPEC has to come through. I hope that after Chairperson Ms. Flora Nkwana will do the presentation. If it can be flighted, Secretary, and go straight to slide number 17, where we will just be sharing with the committee areas of support that we are sharing, we're importing in this particular municipality. And then maybe after she will have done with the presentation, I can ask Dr. Naidu if he has been driving. Maybe he will have landed and being in a comfortable space. He is in charge of MPEC, portfolio, and we are ramping up our capacity in that field, just to begin to ensure that we support them. And like in this case, if MPEC activities are not actually getting traction, we have to come in as nationally supporting the province to make sure that some of the monies that have been lost to the municipality has to be recovered. If he can be able to come through. But Ms. Nkwana, over to you. If you can just go through to that number 17. I don't know, Shireen, whether you managed to flight the presentation of our department. And as I said, let's go straight to number 17, where we're talking support that we are giving to the municipality. But thank you very much, members. And then I'll hand over to Ms. Nkwana to then continue with the presentation and share with you what we're doing in the space. Over to you, Ms. Flo.
Good morning, Chairperson, members of the Portfolio Committee, MECs, HODs, DDGs, and colleagues. As already alluded to, we are sharing this presentation with MISA. I will then request Shike to project the presentation quickly. Shike. I'm not sure if Shike can hear me.
I think if they're trying to flight it, you can continue on that from slide 17 and share it here. Then the slide will find you on the way. Yeah, just go on. Thanks.
I think, thank you, Acting DDG. It is already alluded to. And maybe just to say, our interaction with Kgetleng is also involving the Provincial Coghsta, the Provincial Treasury, as well as MISA. And we have been able to ensure that the municipality is supported in terms of planning and implementation of the MIG projects. We have been able to support the municipality in the implementation plan for 23-24 which was submitted by the 30th of January. We, together with, as I've already alluded to, MISA, Provincial Coghsta, we've been able to engage the municipality on the reasons for their meek performance, and also implementing and development and implementation of the acceleration plan to ensure that the meek allocated funds are spent by end of June 2023. And also we've been able to also look at the financial recovery plans, as well as the municipal support intervention plans. And to also highlight that in all these engagements, each of the listed sectors, as already said, has been able to contribute without any delay to ensure that the municipality can reach a stage where they will be able to improve service delivery and ensure that all areas that are being supported and highlighted as of requiring assistance are being attended to. So without any waste of time, let me then hand over back to MISA to then go into detail in terms of service delivery and infrastructure provision as part of this presentation as well. Thank you, Chairperson. The rest has been addressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you very much, Chairperson, and all my seniors present. My name is George Kasos. I'm a civil engineer supporting the municipality. Can I request that we go to the next slide that speaks about the support, electrical support? I think slide number 17. So I think the challenges have been well articulated by all our previous colleagues. So we'll just go to zoom in on the support. On the electrical side, as MISA, we've compiled the terms of reference for the development of an energy master plan. This plan was successfully completed in 2022 last year. We assisted the municipality with the application for the Integrated National Electrification Program, INEP grant, for the construction of a 10 MVA substation to electrify Riachile Extension 9 and Sigrela townships. This application is currently under review by DMRE. We assisted with the drafting of tender technical specifications for the construction of high mast lights in Rasek High. High mast lights are to be implemented this year, starting last month. We assisted the municipality with the energizing of Riachile Stadium through continuous engagements with ESCOM. This was achieved in September last year. We assisted the municipality with fast tracking of energizing of 9 boreholes in Midville, Speedcock, and Derby through continuous engagements with ESCOM. So these boreholes have since been energized in July 2020. Can I request the next slide, please? On the civil support, we assist the municipality with their asset management and operations and maintenance planning. So in partnership with Machalis Water, we're assisting the municipality to provide water services, especially in compliance with the Concerned Citizens Court ruling. We did an asset register analysis and provided recommendations between 2021 and 2022. We reviewed their asset management policy and provided recommendations in 2022. We advised on the remedial actions to deal with directives from DWS, from DDECT, and also non-compliance notices last year. We identified projects, but they are unfunded, so we're seeking funding in assistance of the municipality. We're advising the municipality on green drop and blue drop improvement plans. This was directed by the DWS minister late last year. This is currently underway.
We provided recommendations on the operations and of water and wastewater treatment plants. So we conduct site visits and provide recommendation on how to improve the operations and maintenance of wastewater treatment plants and water treatment plants. So we cover the whole municipality. We also drafted an O&M plan with terms of reference in view of possible funding from MISA. So there's no funding for that O&M plan, which is a critical document that the municipality lacks. We advised and still continue to advise on contractual matters, other service delivery challenges, and we initiate solution-oriented projects or interventions. Next slide, please. Thank you. So also continuing on the civil side, we assist with project planning, implementation, close out, and such support. The MIG is where we mostly support the municipality. The municipality is under cost reimbursement. So we verify projects under implementation, prepare recommendations for payment claims. This has greatly improved the spending of the municipality on this particular grant, as it sort of ring fences the funds. So we also do site inspections to assist the municipality in getting projects appraised and so that they get funding from MIG. We review designs, drawings, bill of quantities, and provide recommendations on how to improve whatever documentation would have been provided. The refurbishment of the SWAT Dragons SWAT treatment plant and pump station project greatly assisted the municipality. That particular treatment plant is now operating efficiently. On the town planning, MISA town planner assisted the municipality with the establishment of the town planning unit. MISA town plan assisted the municipality the establishment and training of the functional municipal planning tribunal. MISA town planner is a member of the municipality's municipal planning tribunal. We assisted the municipality with the assessment of land development applications, rezoning township establishments, etc. The MISA town plan assisted the municipality to conduct a land audit, which was successfully completed in May 2022. The MISA town planner is a project steering committee member for land use schemes for special development frameworks. So MISA also placed a young town planning graduate who assists the municipality on a daily basis. I hand over to you, Ms. Nkwana, please, you can complete the presentation. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
I think already I have talked to the support by different sectors, province that is listed. So we will therefore recommend that the portfolio committee takes note of the joint presentation by DCOG as well as MISA. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And I think we can now move to the district municipality executive mayor. Can as well start introducing your team. If there's any team, then the presentation. Take charge, 10 minutes. Over to you, executive mayor.
No, thanks very much, Chair. Chair, my name is Councillor Thabo Jacobs. The team that is accompanying me here, we've got the Chief Whip of the municipality, A.A. Selaledi. We've got the Speaker of the municipality, M. Molefe. We've got the MPEC Chair, who is Mesela Tole. Then administratively, we've got the MM and the CFO. Chair, the report that was presented by the HOD of Coghsta, Mr. Ben Bole, is the report that the municipality had prepared to can present, but we would like to align ourselves with that report and the submissions that have been made by all the stakeholders present in this meeting. We have had numerous meetings with Treasury, we have had numerous meetings with Coghsta, and just recently we have had meeting with the AG, and we We have committed the municipality to can work together with those stakeholders to ensure that all the recommendations as per our agreement, municipality would support that. We do agree with all the challenges that have been highlighted in all the reports that have been presented before the committee, and we have ensure that by appointing a new accounting officer, we work to mitigate ourselves out of those challenges that we have encountered. But I've heard when the HOD was presenting in terms of the administrator. The administrator was brought at the council, not necessarily because of the challenges that we have faced recently. It was because the accounting officer's contract that came to an end. Hence, hence the secondment of Mr. Moatudi. But as for all the submissions that have been made, even the presentation that was made by the HOD, we do agree with them, and we have committed ourselves to all the stakeholders that will work hand in hand with them to ensure that we resolve the challenges as per those presentations. Thank you very much, Chair.
Very much. We will now come to Kgetlengrivier local municipality. Or is it Councillor Jacobs? Are you not the one who have just talked?
Yeah, it was me, Chair. Thank you.
Oh. So as the municipality, you agree with everything that has been said. And then Bojanala, what happened? Or I'm the one who confused the order. Bojanala, Councillor Nzaba, any contribution you want to make? Let's assume that there have been interactions generally at the level of the province, level of the district, and then the local municipality. All the challenges and responses are understood. Then it takes us to you, honorable members, now to engage with the contributions that have been made or presentations. I'll be guided by your hands to acknowledge you. Honorable members, I see Honorable Pesa, you are number 1. Honorable Space, number 2. Honorable Grunewald, number 3. I think the rest will follow. I see Honorable Hadebe, number 4. Can we take you in that order? I'll acknowledge the others as they follow. Honorable Pesa.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think that it will be fair to acknowledge that the municipal problems began with the former mayor, who is now at the provincial legislature. There, Chair, there was a transfer of 60 million during that time. That is not accounted for. And the presentations have outlined in terms of the lack of accountability. The AG has spoken to that issue. Furthermore, there is 15 million that was paid to Coghsta to the, the Northwest High Court judgment that favored the Ratepayers Association to take over the running of the water plant and storage. It was all over the media here, at SABC and everywhere, wherein there were serious tensions in terms of that. But subsequent to that was the 15 million that was deposited by Coghsta or Coghsta. The question is the value for money, because even that has not translated to the water plant and the sewage system being functional. And The 144 million that was spent on the sewage plant, were sewage which flew to the Coghsta refill sewage plant being dilapidated, and electricity issues. I just want the municipality to account for these amounts in the committee as to who is behind these and what were the consequences for getting the money and not getting the value for money. Further to this, Chair, is the issue of the structural design. I hear that MISA here is talking to the issue of spatial planning and the boreholes and all those things that they are mentioning. But the sewer spillage, is there a geotech? Because if you go and check what that geotechnical engineer should do there is to investigate and evaluate soil, rock, groundwater, and manage materials and their interaction with earth retention system, structure, foundation, and other civil engineer works. And what structural design has been implemented in terms of the townships of Kgetlengrivier municipality? What IEA planning have been put in place there? I just want to get to understand whether there's real seriousness, because, Chair, if you go to the informal settlements there, they are talking to the issues that pertain to the interventions they have made and the support they have made. That is MISA. But what is the planning? What planning went into Makabuyisele section, which is still waiting to be packed, with no roads? And Mampuru, I know that you are busy packing there, but there's no electricity. There's no delivery. The water is still delivered with water tanks there. What are the sustainable and contingency measures have you taken to migrate from issuing tenders for everything for provision of water? What is a sustainable measure in terms of that in those two that I have mentioned, the informal settlements there? And furthermore, that what is the plan? The audit outcomes is invoked there long time ago. The audit outcome, sorry, for goes in for 4 years there. It has disclaimers year after year, financial year after financial year. But there is no consequences coming through. There's no reports as to who's held liable, and the invocation of section 139(1)(b) in 2018, extensions after extensions, just shows the state of a government, a sphere of government that has lost its ability to deliver on its mandates, and as relied, Chair, on external companies to actually deliver for themselves in the form of tenders. This is what is coming through here in the presentation. And I just want to ask Coghsta whether they have within their intervention, have local economic development initiatives that will improve, the unemployment rate there is very high. And I don't know how we are going to sustainably collect from the revenue from the people that are unemployed there. The people there are crying, Chair, about water. Water, I know that some of these things were built, but in terms of infrastructure, but there is no clean water, which means that the poor people will go on to drink that water and will have to endure diseases that come with them. What action have they taken as a municipality to ensure the quality of water that people are consuming there, particularly as it relates to poor people? Because rich people there in that municipality and people that can afford will go and buy water, but poor people will not. Do they have a local economic development that speaks to the paving of roads to enable that kind of outside outsourcing, just as a municipality, to say we're going to pave the roads everywhere and we're going to employ people and people will be able to pay for their services. Let me just pause there, Chair, because I know in Swartrekens you say, in Burulelo you say plant is fully operational, but the community is still crying there, complaining about water that is not well purified there. Then the last one, Chair, is the municipality spends 8.4 million on consultants. What is the use of hiring consultant firms without realizing value for money? Because that's what is often coming through here. And what action have you taken to ensure that the internal capacity of the audit team is uplifted in order to ultimately not need to hire external consultants? Last one on the AG. What is the action that the AG office taken to focus on municipal performance as much as it focuses on compliance? That is all for now, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Space.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Chair, I have quite a number of questions. I'll try to run through it as quick as possible. Am I audible, Chair? Chairperson?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. Chair, in terms of infrastructure, there's quite a number of challenges that is experienced because of infrastructure that is not proper. And I would like to maybe just draw the attention to the one that speaks particularly about the bulk meters and also water losses. And I need to get a sense from the management and the political leadership in terms of what the situation is with the prepaid meters, because it is known that that prepaid meters are being rented out to the municipality, and at an obscene amount, and I would like to know what that amount is. It is also alleged that the municipality got a loan from the Ideal prepaid meter, the company that is renting out this prepaid meters, for 27 million rand. I want to know if that is in fact true. And if so, Chair, why did they need that loan if the company was going to, to supply and install the meters on a rental basis? And that there was going to be no outlay. There was going to be zero outlay from the municipality side. And so one would want to see what the content of such a contract is, because afterwards there seems to be things that has not been part of this contract that is now actually happening. There is Chairperson, allegation that the people who installed the meters were not licensed wiremen. And it would be great if we can get a list of people that was actually used to do that installations. Then, Chair, as much as there's a lot being made about the indigent households, I want to have an understanding, Chair, of how many of the 65% of indigent households have actually been registered as indigent. And then throughout the presentation, we noticed that there is no bylaws. There's no bylaws, in certain instances. One would like to know if there is a file that exists within the municipality of all the bylaws, if that is available. And then mention has been made to Swartbergen's wastewater treatment plant, and it's stated what the capacity is. And it says that the capacity is at 2 MI, and the actual amount treated per day is 0. So now, it is said that residents, Chair, still walk to the taps at the reservoir to fetch water on a daily basis, and that there's only water a few hours a day, and that it's mainly residents themselves who repair and maintain the pumps at the boreholes in Derby. My sister has a reservoir, but water is only pumped if residents, is there. Then what I want to also know is, it says that there's a lot of cable theft, there's a lot of damaged and vandalized infrastructure. Have these actually been reported to the police? Are there case numbers to this effect? And then, Chairperson, the SALGA presentation spoke about, and what came up for me was there was no proper alignment of the organogram. And now, if that is the case, Chair, I would like to understand how many vacancies are there then in critical positions. Also want to know how many irregular appointments does the municipality currently have. And then further on, mention was made about litigations, and in particular by private persons and ratepayers associations, which we are well aware of. I would like to know, Chair, what is the actual costs of these litigations currently? Because there's been an excessive amount of litigations. And then why have the impact, if impact indeed is operational and active, why is impact not investigated all the reported allegations of financial misconduct against officials, and why has consequence management not been applied in this regard? In particular, when we look at irregular expenditure, which is very high. I also want to know how the municipality monitors losses, electricity losses, and when have the bylaws within the electricity department, when has that been revised? Then the disciplinary board that is non-existent, when will that board be established and functioning? Because that is an important part, seeing that there are so many disciplinary matters. Then the municipality has failed to spend their capital grants, and they misappropriated conditional grants. One would want to understand what the reasons for that is and what actions are being taken by that. I will, for now, Chair, I will stop there. And then obviously, if I have another opportunity, there's some others, but that might flow out of my follow-up questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Groenewald.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, please allow me to keep my camera off. Unfortunately, I've got a bit of unstable internet. Is that fine?
No, that's fine.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the Honourable Speaker touched on a lot of the things that I wanted to touch on. So let me start by saying that when you drive through Derby, Swartrugens or Coghsta, that you actually see the obvious decay of the town or towns in multiple vote. To say that if you are an investor and you want to go to your towns, how are you able to prepare them, or how are you able to convince them to come and invest within your areas? The road infrastructure is decaying more and more, especially in terms to Provincial as well. So is the municipality taking action against, or action in talking to the province to see if they can get their access roads? Because if you understand where Derby and Coghsta is situated, it's not, on a main economic route, although there is, some economic going through the towns. How are you able to utilize that in terms of your area? We know that the most important part of local economy is to create jobs. So what are you doing to do that? Then, Chair, in terms of the fleet, there's a lot of people appointed within a municipality, but there's only one, bucky, for example, in your electricity department. If that is quite the fact, how are you managing all the people working for the municipality to actually do their job? As Honourable Speaker has alluded as well, is in terms of your the theft of copper within your area, that's becoming a great problem. What steps did you take to mitigate that, to save your infrastructure? Because if you just leave it, you will have nothing left. And then lastly, Chair, in terms of the water, what action did the municipality take to ensure water in times of load shedding? I think load shedding will be with us for a long time. So what did they do to prepare themselves in terms of that? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Can we ask Honorable Hadebe?
Thank you, Chair. And please also allow me not to switch on my camera because of network challenges. And also, Chair, please indicate if I'm breaking, because I've got a very bad connection, so that I don't speak to myself, yet I'm already been disconnected.
Can hear you well.
Okay, thank you so much, Chair. Some of the questions have been already been asked. From the presentation of Coghsta, Chair, it is indicated that it takes more than 2 years to turn around a totally dysfunctional municipality, even longer still when there are hindrances to the implementation of administrators' proposed solution to the challenges facing the municipality. That's from the presentation of Coghsta. And if I were to also quote the presentation of the Provincial Treasury, it says the precondition for successful financial recovery plan hinges on the stability in political and administrative structure. So those two statements clearly speak volumes, and they complement one another, Chair. I'm raising this question precisely because this municipality has had 4 consecutive disclaimers. The intervention has been there since 2018, which is almost 5 years. And the 2 years that it takes to turn around the situation clearly has not yielded any positive result, which then speaks to the issue that has been highlighted in the presentation, that all stakeholders must be on board and they must have a buy-in and monitoring and strategic direction. Now, the new financial recovery plan and the mandatory financial recovery plan in terms of section 139, subsection 5, will it yield positive outcomes? And if in the past, Chair, there were any stakeholders, be it the officials, politicians, who were not pulling together or in support or sabotaging the implementation of the proposed solution by the administrator, has action been taken against those that were part of the collapse of the system? And will this financial recovery plan find joy and support amongst all the stakeholders, or these stakeholders who were party to the, if I were to call it, sabotage of administrators' implementation plan? Are they still part of the system? Have they not, in your view, Coghsta and the municipal officials, have they not violated the code of conduct of the officials? If it's politicians, have they not violated the code of conduct of councillors? And if so, what has been done to deal decisively? I'm raising this because one of the recommendations from the Auditor-General is that the tone from the leadership ought to speak volume about the direction that the municipality is taking in relation to zero tolerance to non-compliance. So if there were any elements of non-compliance, I would like to get a sense and an understanding of whether or not those that are guilty were dealt accordingly in terms of the prescriptive disciplinary actions. Second point, Chair, again, I think partly Honorable Spees tried to raise the question when SALGA made its presentation, they've reflected inductions or workshop that they've conducted with impact, but the presentation, my apology, the presentation from AG says something contrary in terms of the capacity of impact rate, the impact of these trainings. Has there been any instances where you have monitored progress after the training of the impact? And also the chair, I'm told the chair of impact was part of the meeting. I would like to get a sense and understanding from the chair of impact as well. Are they equal to the task now based on
it looks like
the interventions from SALGA and the training? Would the chair say to us the better of now in terms of
your network is breaking, Honorable Hadebe, but I think they got the message about MPEC. I can hear you now when you say ish.
Okay. Oh no.
Okay.
So network is a challenge. Yeah, let me stop there. I'm hoping that other colleagues will want to delay the committee while I'm breaking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, now I think for now, those are the only hands I've seen. We will have to respond. We come down in the same order. We start with the Provincial, Coghsta, Treasury. But if there's nothing raised in your case, you don't have to say anything. We're just focusing on responses now. Can we start at the top? Coghsta? if there was anything raised. Provincial Treasury.
No, thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, we don't have much that was raised, but I must just indicate with what Honorable Hadebe was raising on impact support. Just to share with the portfolio committee that we have introduced this new administration of a new leadership of local government in 2020, after 2021 local government elections. As Provincial Treasurer, we have introduced a process where before the MPEC starts to engage with their reports, what we do our district support functionaries, and they're at the director level and deputy director level. The lowest is around assistant director level. They get the schedule of the MPEC committees sessions, the schedule, and they go and brief like how normally AG would go and brief and to your scopers in the province and so forth. We are trying to introduce that. We've not yet perfected it because we only started I think around August last year to start to work in that type of a system as part of providing support and also looking at how can the and MPEX committee start to reduce their UIFW, but also on how can they follow through the areas that triggers the need for consequence management and as well as investigation. We are doing, and Kgetleng is the beneficiary of that type of a program. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The AG's office, anything that you would want to respond to, which might have come as some form of question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think I picked up one question from Honorable Cesar about the actions or things that we are doing to try and shift or move away from purely compliance-focused audit process. Just briefly on that, Honorable Chair, some of the things that we, firstly, we are switching and moving towards more integrated audit approach by involving mainly in the main our performance auditors, who are people within the organization competent to help us focus our work on for example, service delivery related infrastructure assets as part of the performance audit colleagues, but we do that as part of an integrated audit process, not as a standalone activities within the audit process. But the engagements that I spoke to when I wrapped up my presentation, Chair, it's also aimed at us trying to speak to the things that matter to the municipality, that will talk to the lived realities of the people on the ground, so that when the audit outcomes improve, that is also supported by lived experiences of the people on the ground. As part of what we're trying to do with, I think, things in the PFMA space are a bit stable, where we, for example, focus on the review of the APPs and give inputs onto that. We're also trying to shift that to local government space as well, to say, to the extent that municipalities require our input on the strategic planning documents, including SDBIPs, that we can actually give inputs onto those, including the post-audit action plans, because it has not actually been a practice that once they have been prepared, we give input to such, but we've opened our arms and say, to the extent that such input is needed and requested from us, and the team stand ready to try and support. So those are some of the things, Chair and Honorable President, that we are doing to try and assist in responding to the challenges that are faced by auditees, especially local government space. Thank you, Chair.
Can we come to SALGA if there was anything specific to yourselves?
Thank you, Chairperson. There's nothing specific to us. When Honorable Kgetlengrivier, I heard him mentioning of SALGA, but he got cut because of his network. So I did not capture anything related to SALGA to respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we then move to ECOC? Mr. Mohale, was there anything specific
No,
to
thanks.
yourself?
Thanks, Chairperson. There were questions raised on the technical side of it, and then I'll ask George to respond to them directly. Over to you, George, supported by the DDG. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think Councillor Thabo Jacobs, Member of Parliament, sorry, PL, raised a number of questions. Some of them I think can be answered by the municipality. So I'll attempt to answer the technical questions. One of them, I think he was talking about structural designs, sewage spillages, geotech report, what has been done about sewer spillages. I think this is in reference to Coghsta town. So in Coghsta, there's a treatment plant called Coghsta Wastewater Treatment Plant. So they implemented a project there that addressed some of those sewer spillages, that addressed some of the directives from DWS. So some pump stations were eliminated, and flow was directed to that wastewater treatment plant. So that partially addressed some of the directives. We still have Coghsta ponds, whereby sewage is flowing there. The ponds have been vandalized. They are non-functional. There are plans by the municipality, which we have been shown, whereby they want to put a pump station at that particular site, so that all the sewage, it's not much of the sewage from Coghsta, the remaining sewage that goes to those ponds can be pumped to the Coghsta wastewater treatment works. So there are plans that have been put in place to solve the issue of sewer spillages from treatment works. And then I think there was also a question from Honorable Eleanor Spice about Swartdragon's wastewater treatment plant. So there was a project that was completed last financial year, which addressed spillages that were being experienced into the treatment, into the nearby stream. So it was the treatment plant. It was also a pump station. So at that time, we actually, there was no longer any flow of untreated sewage into the stream. At the moment, Machalis Water is assisting the municipality with ongoing O&M issues throughout all the plants. We have not had reports of spillages into the environment. There was also, I think, a question on how the issue of the misuse of funds from infrastructure grants, how we've dealt with that. So with regards to MIG funds, we have full-blown cost reimbursement processes that are underway with the municipality. This has greatly improved the way these funds are being utilized, because payment can only be made per claim, per project. So this is only after a recommendation has been made by MISA to Coghsta National. That's when payment can only be effected. So we've seen an improvement in the way that MIG funds are being implemented by the municipality. I think there was also a question about informal settlements from Honorable Thabo Jacobs. I will leave that to my town planning colleague. I think she can attempt to respond to that one. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Then Your colleague must come in.
Thank you, Chair. My apologies. My name is Bonso Nkejan, the Provincial Manager. Our town planning colleague, she's having a network challenge. She sent me a message to say the network kept on kicking her out, but she's waiting to be admitted on the platform. But basically on the issue that was raised, the project on the formalization of the township establishment was funded through the Department of Human Settlement. But when the department, after funding, after the contract ended, then the consultants also pulled out from the project. That is why there are delays in the implementation of that project. Maybe if the town planner or the town planning unit from the municipality is here, they can indicate maybe from their side what are they planning to do, because the delays are due to the fact that the contract that they had with the department ended and the project was not yet completed, which causes the delays. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Let's move now to district municipality, Bojanala. If there were any question directed to yourselves. It doesn't look like there was. And then Kgetlengrivier local municipality. I'm sure most of the questions were directed to yourselves, Councillor Jacobs and your team.
Oh, thanks very much, Chair. Let's start with the one of informal settlement. The honorable member has even mentioned the two informal settlement of Makhabesele and Mampuru. Of course, it's correct. We are in the process of formalizing the Mampuru section. That was our phase one plan to ensure that we eradicate all informal settlements, particularly in Swartregens. The section that is speaking of Makhabesele and the hospital view, there'll be our phase 2 and phase 3 of the project. Then all our informal settlement would have been formalized. Of course, in terms of provision of water, we have been supplying them through tankering and through scheduled dates as to how many times we are giving them water, and we have not yet received any complaints so far.
Yeah. It looks like you are cut.
No, thanks, Chair.
Okay.
I was saying that in terms of formalizations of the informal settlements, the two sections that the honorable member has touched on, which is Mampuru and Makhabesele. The Mampuru section, like he has correctly stated, we are busy in the process of formalizing it. Then our phase 2 will be going to Makhabesele and ultimately do the third one, which is the hospital view. And indeed, we have been providing water through tankering to those informal settlements, working together with the committees within those informal settlements. We have submitted the business plans to water and sanitation in terms of our needs. We have had engagement with the minister. We are hoping that they will come through for us, and if they do, then we'll be able to reticulate all those informal settlements. In terms of the LED, the question was that we do have a plan. Yes, the council 2 months back has adopted an LED strategy which speaks to the needs and the challenges of the municipality and the society in Kgetleng. And we are busy trying to ensure that we implement that LED strategy. We are hoping, as per our analysis, that after the implementation of that LED strategy, issues like unemployment within young people, which are not necessarily based in Kgetleng, but it's a general challenge, will be addressed by that LED strategy. So yes, so we do have that strategy. There was a question on issues of the ideal prepaid of the 27 million rand. No, as far as I'm concerned, Chair, we have no such arrangement or any loan arrangement with the ideal prepaid. The issues of water in Swartregens, the plant was refurbished, and we need to be clear in saying, since the refurbishment of that plant, there's been greater improvement in terms of water provision. So I would not know what or in which part of Swartregens are the people struggling with water. But as far as we are concerned, the people have been receiving water properly or without any hindrances. Of course, there were challenges at the level of the plant, which was internal issues with regards to the discipline of the employees, which was dealt with. But in terms of water provision in Swartregens, people have been receiving water, except those informal settlements, because we are using water tankers to provide them with water. The issue of critical positions, Chair, like the HOD has already alluded, we since our inception, we have managed to fill in the 3 vacancies, which was the accounting officer, the CFO, and the technical director. This past weekend, we had advertised for the 3 vacant senior manager positions, which is your LED, which is your corporate and your community services. So by end of April, we would have been able to fill in all those critical positions. There was questions from Mr. Groenewald with regards to the roads in Derby and Coghsta, which, yes, Provincial. The question was that whether we have engaged the public works. Yes, we have engaged the public works, and they have committed that anytime from now, we would be having service providers coming to do those roads. There are 3 other roads that they have already, contractors are preparing to get on site, which is the road between Swartregens and Ventersdorp and the Ratza High Road. So we have engaged with the public works, and they have committed anytime from now we should be seeing contractors on site. Mr. Hadebe, even though he was talking of issues of political stability. Since our inception in 2021, we have worked very hard to ensure that there is political stability within the municipality. If you know the municipality, it's commonly known for unrest, political infightings and all that. And we can proudly say, a year down the line, we have never experienced any such of those challenges. So we have done well in terms of political stability. Administration, we were lacking when we got in, because we found in some director positions they were vacant and people were acting. We have managed to fill 3. We are left with 3 with the hope that by end of April it will be done. So we with the interventions that are being brought by the stakeholders, I think even from the provincial treasury, they can add on to say Kgetleng has welcomed any intervention from any of our stakeholders. So there won't be any issue in terms of a resistance, whether politically or administratively. So there are no challenges in terms of that. So those are the issues that I've managed to capture while I was writing here, Chair. If there are any other issues that I've missed, then my colleagues will add on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now, if there are any follow-ups from the members, let's assume we have captured all the questions. So I can see the face of Honorable Teza. Can we take your follow-up?
Yes, Chair, thank you very much. First, the issue pertaining to a letter that was dated by the municipality and the district to councillors is a frustrating matter, because it displays the attitude of the municipalities to communicate between themselves and council. they've just received it now, and they are complaining that how can they engage on the issue? Why does the municipality send it now, and so forth?
You must unmute yourself, Honorable Taz. I can't hear you.
Oh, Chair. No, can you hear me now, Chair?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. The first issue is that there is a letter that circulated today that invited councillors to form part of the meeting. That is from the Troika and the MMCs. To me, which displays the communication breakdown amongst the council and the mayors there in both this district and local municipality. I mean, you can't send the letter now, today. When have you received the invitation from the committee? That is the first issue, just to display the downward spiral of circumstances in local government. And then there's a last, Chair. There's a last the first presentation on slide, the very first presentation on slide 23. I think it's from Coghsta. Chair, it speaks to the NCOP. If you can go to that slide, it's a slide before the last one. We are not NCOP. I don't know what could have happened, Chair, but for the record, that must be corrected. This is not NCOP. I thought that I should raise such issues so that we don't fall into that trap. Chair, the assets of Kgetlengrivier local municipality were attached and auctioned by the residents. What is the situation on this matter? The second one, what is the state of the pension fund to the municipal employees, as it previously showed that there is 57%, I mean, there is 57.7 million that was outstanding for 5.7 in 50.57. What are the improvements in this regards in terms of paying the outstanding owed electricity? The other one then should relate to, I think, Honorable SALGA was speaking to the lack of accountability that you raised and the high irregular expenditure. And Chair, in terms of this, the root causes for the UIF is what we would like. I think he would have loved to know, and the amounts that are shown in terms of the increase of irregular expenditure by 81 million, Chair, and then 126 million for unauthorized, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, 15 million. And it says, once you say that, you speak of numbers, it's fine, but you must speak of the numbers that have been wasted as though there are people behind it. And you must outline to us what are the consequences. Not to say these are the numbers and then there are no liable persons. We can't see a report that says this person, this particular set of people have been implicated. And if they are not, the council takes a decision, obviously. And then on these issues pertaining to informal settlements, Chair, I was asking about the MISA's plans in terms of ensuring the purification, because that's the outcry there, the purification of water, because they say that it would be bad for people to get water, and water that is dirty. And there's a video here, and I'm no longer sending the videos to the committee, because it should show the entire town that this is a Kgetleng, you know. But when it shows the pump, it won't have enough evidence. I've learned that before. So next time I will bring and then show the entire town there, so that they can identify. But there is a clear video of the quality of water that the people. If you want it, Chair, it's here with me. I'll send it. But it obviously doesn't show the whole town. And then on those things of water tanks, I was asking this contingency measures to move away from providing water with those things, with water tankers, because the temptation is often that those are tenders, and then we've seen people throwing water away there so that they can have more trips, you know. So we want to know what is the plan to move away from that, and so that the municipality has internal capacity to deliver on this thing, because we can't forever have water tanks and water tankers, you know. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Hadebe.
No, thanks, Chair. If I may try, hopefully the network will be lenient to me. My question was to SALGA and the chair of the MPAC, as well as the leadership of the municipality. Has the induction sessions that you have conducted with MPAC yielded any positive results, SALGA? Have you at any point conducted assessment to see whether or not there has been a meaningful change and impact in terms of your outcome based on the inductions that you have conducted with MPAC? Secondly, to MPAC, I asked whether or not they've seen indeed a return on investment attending this training. As the chairperson of the MPAC, why has thus far no one been held accountable in line with Section 32 of the Municipal Finance Management Act in relation to irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and that there has been no action taken and no condonation as per that act? So those were my questions, Chair, before the network dealt with me. Thank you.
Honorable Space.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, I think I have a better chance of putting my questions in writing and maybe then getting a response. Because if I count, I probably didn't get a response to more than 6 questions. Now, just linking up with Honorable Kgetlengrivier, the issue around impact, I was particularly asking because if you have the matters that we have been made aware of in that municipality, it almost seems as the impact is not doing their job in terms of their oversight and also dealing with matters that has been reported to impact. And that council is not getting regular reports from impact on matters taken up, or impact has not even looked at these matters. One needs to understand what is happening. Chair, I've asked the question and I'm asked again. I want to know, what is the cost of litigation at this point? Where does it stand in terms of rands and cents? I've also asked how the municipality monitors electricity losses. There is nothing coming forward in terms of that. I've also asked whether the disciplinary board is in the process of being established, and if not, what is the problem? When will it be up and running and functioning? The question on the capital grants that has not been spent has been answered partly, and then yeah, oh, and the bylaws. I've asked about bylaws in general, but then I asked about the electricity bylaws. When last has that been revised? I've also asked. If I can get it, Chair, but in any case, I can put this in writing if I have a better chance of getting responses, because the people on the ground would like to have responses to the issues that are raised in these meetings. And so do I. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We will now respond to the questions as raised, and let's assume that now those who have specific questions have noted them. I assume that most of these questions talk to the municipality from Honorable Plaza. Executive Mayor, can I allow you to respond? I think it's yourselves and SALGA when it talks about MPEC. And Honorable Mayor and your team.
No, thanks, Chair. Chair, with regards to the issue of tankering, like we have said, that we have presented business plans before the Water and Sanitation Ministry. The aim of that is to ensure that we deal away with the issues of tankering. And I can confirm that there's no, when we were inaugurated in 2021, we said that ours, based on the challenges that the municipalities faced in terms of provision of water, was to ensure that people receive water on a daily basis. The aim is not to prolong the issue of tankering, hence the submissions of business plans to water and sanitation to ensure that they reticulate all those informal settlements so that we move away from the issue of tankering wholeheartedly. On the issues of irregular expenditure, it's a standard practice, Chair, that we would refer all those to MPEC for further investigation. If you have seen the presentation made by the HOD, the challenge might be that of MPEC having or lacking of capacity to can do such investigations. Hence the need for SALGA to intervene in ensuring that they capacitate MPEC to ensure that they do their work properly. The issues of litigations, it's the letters that we have received from service providers, they amount to plus minus 40 million with regards to certain contracts being cancelled and others being the municipality being able not to can pay them. So they amount to plus minus 40 million. Because of our inability to generate revenue, Chair, we are at sometimes forced to pay our third parties a bit late, and of course, in this instance, we are behind, and we will be able to settle all the third parties this month of March. So, with regards to that, we are a bit late. We do not collect like we have said before. Now, that is why on most occasions we are forced to use our equitable share to can cover some of the liabilities that the municipalities is encountering, and one of such is that of the third parties. So I don't know if there's anything that I've left, but I would allow the team to can respond to that.
Now let's allow SALGA, Councillor.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairperson. On the question that was asked by Honorable Kgetlengrivier on whether as SALGA have we made an assessment on whether there's an impact on the training that we are giving to MPEC. We are able to make impact only during the meetings with MPEC itself. Currently, as we speak, we are waiting for the MPEC chairperson to invite SALGA to their meetings. Like it was alluded earlier on by the mayor of Kgetleng that the capacity issue, it also contributes. So when we started with the presentation that our mandate as SALGA is to support and advise our member municipalities on issues that are affecting them. So the only assessment that will be done is in the next session that we are going to have with MPEC itself and check whether there's progress, because obviously the impact will be on the progress made on the issues that were raised previously, on whether are they being addressed. Because if the issues that were raised before and the training being given to MPEC members, there's no improvement even from the side of the municipality, it means that the training provided did not yield any result. But it also go back to the issue of capacity itself, because MPEC needs to be capacitated to make sure that it do what is expected of them. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. The only person now, if he or she is ready, is the chairperson of MPEC. I think in the question of Honorable Hadebe, there was something that said we had the chairperson is part of the meeting. Maybe he wanted to hear the chairperson. Is the chairperson around or having anything to say? Chairperson of MPEC.
Chair, I don't. It's Councillor Jacobs again. I don't see her.
You don't see the chairperson.
Yeah, but I will try to locate her.
No, it's fine.
Oh, she disappeared. It's fine, Chair. Because she was introduced at the beginning.
No, that's correct. Yes. So hence I'm saying if the chairperson is not in here, I think partly also responding to some of the questions raised by Honorable Space. If there's anything that you think it needs to be sent to us in writing, we can appreciate that and say within 2 weeks would be ready to accept any information. By the way, we should have indicated our process. Our process is that we engage with you. We are engaging with a number of municipalities, and after that process, we must, because we are public representatives, some of the issues we are picking up and responses, they are consolidating our report to the National Assembly, where the report itself would be tabled there and be debated openly. The whole country would be listening to that. So we also don't want to misrepresent you. That's why we give you this opportunity to talk to us. So if there's any gap and you think you need to submit that in writing, that's welcome. I think we are almost at the end of the meeting. MEC, I would allow you to make your closing comments before we close the meeting.
Thank you very much, Chair and honorable members. Chair, I think we've been engaging with appearing before the committee since last year. It has not been an easy journey, especially these municipalities that are in financial distress. But I must, however, indicate that both Coghsta and Provincial Treasury we are continuously striving to stabilize municipalities and to ensure that finally municipalities will have to at some point adopt and to funded the budgets, because unfunded budgets actually has proved that we will not be able to deliver services to our communities. We have noted the issues that have been raised also from the members of the Portfolio Committee, and with our continuous engagement, because we have developed a program with the MEC Coghsta, MEC Maloyi, where we are going to continuously interact with the municipalities led by various mayors. So some of these specific issues will have to follow them through, so that in future when we raise them, at least we would have also demonstrated that we have interacted with the issues that we have raised. From our side, Chair, we thank you very much for the session. We always appreciate it. It's always a mind and opening into a session, because there are areas that we still also need to follow up, especially issues of consultants. I was already noting to the team that we need to really look at that. We've engaged that consultants last year. Maybe we need to make a follow-up to do an assessment on the impact thereof on the support they provide to municipalities. So thank you very much. And I'll also share the issues with the MEC Maloyi, because he's also the chairperson of the governance cluster in the expo. Sincere thanks to all members as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Chair.
Yes.
If I may chip in very quickly, 1 second. Honorable Khosho, MEC Khosho, we are not going to raise the issues that you are raising on the presentation. Often that's a temptation that we're expected to do that, but we're not going to do that, because there are some issues that are concealed by presentation, and often municipalities come to the committee and paint a rosy picture here. So we will not necessarily raise the issues as pertaining to what you are bringing to us, but as well as the issues that you are not bringing to us. You have not answered us on the 60 million that was spent there, and the 15 million that was given to that thinking there, Ratepayers Association. So it's not in the presentation, and if it's concealed, we will ask it if it's raised by communities and councils.
Can I indicate, Honorable Kgetlengrivier, I think we have got our own administration. They are noting some of the issues that we have raised, and where there are gaps, obviously there will be follow-ups to check how such gaps gets explained. In other words, it is correct, there might not have been responses to all the issues that we have raised, like Honorable Spies was indicating. But it's an ongoing picture that must then be followed up by our officials. I would like, on behalf of the committee as well, to thank the delegation from the Northwest. We are also beginning to, as we engage with the different municipalities and the support that gets given to them, we are also noting that consistently the Northwest, like KwaZulu-Natal, they are giving us what we expect, that when you engage municipalities, we expect the executives, because ours is to conduct, because we are primarily responsible to make laws. Then the executive executes such laws, we conduct oversight. So the presence itself, we should be very happy about it, because I'm sure as we talk, we are also trying to say, in our absence, oversight must be done by the executive. And what is also critical, yes, we have heard about the the collaboration to support the municipality, but I'm sure we are keen to have results, especially when it talks about this audit outcomes. I'm sure it was good that the material irregularity identified by the Auditor-General is when documents cannot be presented for audit. So we would be looking forward to see that. I think there were indications to say you are beginning now to appoint senior managers in the municipality. So it might impact positively on that. With that, I would like to declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair, once more.
Thank you very much, and Honorable Spice.
Thank you, Chair.
No, I'm sorry, Honorable Space. I'm sure everybody is going to ultimately, I started that way as well when I came.
I think, Chair, of the meeting, you must just say, Spice is the pronunciation. Okay.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Honorable Spice.
Thank you, Chair, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Recording stopped.